and Jill on the mic. It's about to get real. Keep it live, that's right. From Pennsylvania to across the globe, it's time for the Steelers All-Star Show.
Welcome to the Steelers by the Lake podcast. My name is James Strong, joined once again by my co-host Cody Tanner. Cody, how are you on this Thanksgiving Eve Monday?
Yeah, sure. You can call it whatever you want to make it sound better than what it is. It's a terrible defeat. First day of the week. That was close to rhyming, not really. I don't know. I'm okay. Like personally, I'm doing well. I'm great. I'm fine. There's a lot of positive things happening in my life. But this is a Steelers podcast, and there's a lot of things on fire right now that we're gonna have to talk about. A lot of things, James, that I'm not thankful for. So we're gonna get to that before too long. But James, how are you on this lovely Monday?
I'm doing well, man. Got to spend some time with friends almost the entire weekend. Some folks from out of town, good friends of the show, Jeremy and Kendall, were up from North Carolina to visit family for Thanksgiving, so I got to spend some time with them yesterday. And then some other friends on Saturday as well. So I didn't get to spend a lot of time watching football. So Cody is going to do a lot of the analysis from this most recent game. I've gained a lot of intel and listening to other shows, but unable to watch most of this game, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it.
It very much depends on how you look at it. There's a lot of things to talk about, and we're going to preface this show. I was going to do this, James, whether it was just me and you or not, just to clarify. To preface this show, we love each other on this show. We may not always share opinions, and things may get heated, but we love each other on this show. So we'll see how this goes. We do not have Jill and Nick with us today. Jill has some cheer stuff going on. Nick has stuff, family things. So prayers that both of them have good nights in their respectful ways. So before we get into the game, we're going to talk inactives real quick. Inactives for the Chicago Bears game was Aaron Rodgers. He was ruled out against the Bears in this game. Alex Highsmith still out with that injury. Andrus Peat still out. Broderick Martin out. Broderick Martin Rhodes, excuse me, and then Logan Lee as well. So those guys were all the inactives. And then, man, the game was very interesting. There was a couple, James, I forgot that you weren't going to be able to watch it. There were a couple times that I was like, you're going to hate this. The camera angle they kept using for certain things was cool. Like it looked like a video game, the way they backed out and stuff, but they showed an entire play like that. And I had no idea what was happening. Not a single thing. And they never showed the play again. And so I was like, well, I don't know what happened on that play.
I hate it when they do that on special teams on kick coverage and stuff. Like you can't even figure out where the heck the ball carrier is. It's insane.
Yeah. So it was very interesting. But before we go too far, I'm going to preface this with this, I think, was the worst game the Steelers have played all year. And we still almost won. And I don't think it has anything to do with the coaching staff. Like, I'm not saying that in any, like, there were a couple big plays that were pure luck. The 4th and 1 fake tush push was a great call.
Mm-hmm.
I will give them that, but it's like, that's the one good play that I saw. The defense consistently does not make adjustments in this game or in any game. And that's something that Ben Roethlisberger has even talked about on his podcast. He's like, we used to make adjustments at halftime. He hasn't seen that recently, and I don't see it ever. One of my biggest complaints on the defensive side is we actually play good defense, get them to a 3rd and long, and then play soft coverage, and they convert or get close to converting every single time. And it blows my mind that we still think that's how you should play. We had a couple good games from some guys. I thought James Pierre had a decent game. TJ Watt with the sack, fumble the end zone. I mean, like that's such a fluke to get that defensive touchdown there. And without that, this game is even further away. I mean, it's a 10-point game. And there was just a lot that didn't go right in this game. And I'm getting frustrated because other teams with the quality of coaching staff that we have and the quality of players that we have don't have these issues, don't have this we can't move the ball downfield, or we continue to let up 30 points or this, that, whatever. And it just blows my mind. Last week against Cincinnati was great, but it's a division game. We played them once already. You had some tape. Okay, whatever. I still don't think, I don't know. I'm going on a little bit of a rant. We're going to get back into stuff. I'm just wildly frustrated, wildly angry, completely annoyed as a fan of the game. And as I would classify myself now as somewhat of an analytic because of how much I watch the game and break things down after the fact. But the inability for us to make a play call that, and this is where James and I were going to have a moment of disagreement. The inability to formulate and scheme open players downfield is wild to me. We either have check downs, 3 to 4 yards, 3 to 5 yards past the line of scrimmage, or dump offs anywhere from 7 yards to 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage, or we have long bombs down the field that are 50-50 balls that our receivers aren't making plays on. DK Metcalf is a wild disgrace right now, in my opinion, on the reason we brought him in to be a jump ball guy. I don't know if you saw the interception or not yet, James.
I didn't see it, no, but he's never been a jump ball guy, but he is a contested catch guy, and there's a difference. You know what I mean? Like, he's good. He's been, in his career, he's been good at deep balls and winning those 50-50 balls, but he's never been the guy to jump up in the air to get it. He's been the one to wrestle it away from the other guy as it comes down.
Yeah.
But the problem for me has been that the deep ball throws have been so god awful this year that it's not even giving him a chance. You know, the best chance he has, I understand from you guys and then from everybody else who saw this play to DK at the beginning of the game here, that it was a badly underthrown ball, but also poor effort from DK on trying to get back and at least try to break it up and become a defender. So you got to be disappointed on both sides. I mean, this is supposed to be what Mason is best at. You know, Mason Rudolph is supposed to be best at deep balls down the field. That's supposed to be his go-to.
Yeah.
And that's the one place you can throw it that DK doesn't really have a chance of getting the ball.
And I agree that the placement on that was bad. I will not disagree with that in the slightest. When you watch the play, but it's one of those things where I understand what you're saying. DK isn't a jump ball guy. He's a contested catch guy. But as a receiver, your job is to either high point the ball or at the bare minimum prevent the defensive guy from getting it. And I don't feel like he did either. I mean, he obviously didn't do either of those things.
Well, and he clearly attempted to high point the ball. It just didn't.
But behind the defensive guy.
And if it's a well-thrown
it's like
ball,
a box out.
Yeah.
Like, stop. If in that situation, if you stop and at least go up for the ball, I think there's enough contact between the two players that it doesn't get picked off. I don't know.
I agree with you.
It's been frustrating because I feel like DK's not doing anything with these deep balls, anything with these jump balls. And yeah, placement has been off both with Aaron and Mason in this game. But there's been a couple times where, like, I believe some of the balls have been catchable, and it's like, why are we not catching this ball? Why is this not happening? And just to go on this, like, breaking down the passing chart from Next Gen Stats online.
Yeah, awful.
I mean, there's literally not a single pass in between the hashes, not one. And then you also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 that are behind the line of scrimmage. If you're going to tell me he had 21 completions, a third of your passes, we're going to make the offensive player have to go like extra yards just to get back to the line of scrimmage. That's not good play calling. And when I go back to this, James, it's not just Mason. In week 11, Aaron had 3 that were behind the line of scrimmage. One of them went for a touchdown, whatever. In week 10, Aaron had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that were behind the line of scrimmage. In week 9, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Like, it's not, and that's why during the game you had messaged, you know, is it just that's the play call, or is he not throwing the ball downfield? This is too big of a pattern for me to ignore and say that it's not play calling. It's not designed this way. I mean, which week was it? Week 7. I don't remember who he played that week, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 passes, either behind the line of scrimmage or only 2 yards past. That means he only had 10 plays where the ball went further in the air than 2 yards. And that blows my mind. That, like, how are you supposed to be an explosive offense or do anything on offense if that's what you're doing? And so that's where my frustration comes from, because I know that we've talked week 3 was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's like that you can't, and I'm not saying you are, but anybody can't argue and say that's not part of the game plan if it's happening at that consistently of a rate.
Yeah, and you have to look at it too is where are the passes, who are the passes being thrown to, right? So this game, we look at it, Kenny Gainwell, 6 catches for 30 yards. Running backs are almost never a primary target in a pattern unless it's a running back screenplay. So it's telling me that the quarterbacks are not going through their progressions. They're not going to their primary receivers, or they're looking at their first read and then immediately going to the check down, which is the emergency. It's supposed to be in case of emergency, break glass and throw to the running back to try to get a couple of yards, but they're using it as a second option. And there's no plays where the check down to the running back is the second or third option. It is always the last option. It is the no one is open, throw it to the running back so that you can try to get something on this play. It's not a primary part of any play, again, other than a running back screen play. So, yeah, I think that we've got a serious failure with executing the offensive plays and scheming up plays where the quarterback is comfortable going through his progression, because they're clearly not. Regardless of whether it's Aaron Rodgers or regardless if it's Mason Rudolph, Mason looked very comfortable in the offense last week, comes out this week, looks very uncomfortable on the offense. In this one, it goes down as 1 passing touchdown. Technically, it's 2, but the one that he throws to John or DK, I guess it was, is behind the line of scrimmage. It goes down as a lateral, so DK gets a rushing touchdown instead of a receiving touchdown. So it's a little bit skewed, not in favor of the quarterback in this situation, not in favor of a receiving target. But one thing that it's impossible to argue with is that they're just not going vertical enough. They're not completing balls over the middle of the field. They're not oftentimes even attempting balls over the middle of the field. And when they do go deep, it's almost always incomplete. And that's been the biggest disappointment to me, is that Aaron Rodgers' deep ball has been very inaccurate this year.
Yep.
I think he's probably right around 20% completion on his deep balls, and we're talking like 20-plus yards down the field when we say
I will
deep.
look and see if I can't find that stat, because now I'm curious.
I saw somebody a couple of weeks ago, and I don't know if it was 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, that made a TikTok showing every single pass he had thrown 20 yards or more. Yeah. And it was pretty embarrassing to see how low the completion percentage was.
Yeah.
At that time, and that was a couple of weeks ago, it was like 25 to 30% of the passes were complete, with like 3 or 4 touchdowns and a couple of interceptions sprinkled in there too. But most of the balls, the common theme was that he was overthrowing them badly or throwing it out of bounds to where it's not even a catchable ball. And that brings us back to like the Justin Fields deep balls. His deep balls were just atrocious. They were not catchable. They were always either overthrown or out of bounds. And then we got a little bit of taste of Russell Wilson, who had probably one of the better deep balls in the history of the game, but couldn't complete anything from like 5 yards to 15 yards down the field. And now here we are with Aaron Rodgers, who's generally a pretty accurate quarterback, but his deep ball is just bad this year.
Well, and this is I put it up on the screen here. This is the chart from last week. I can't find one from this week, unfortunately. But this is DK's routes. Those gray routes are incomplete. So you have an incomplete pass roughly 14 yards downfield in between the hashes. You have an incomplete pass 27 yards downfield on the right side. You have an incomplete pass 20 yards on the left side. Every completed pass is within 10 yards. Mm-hmm. Every single one. And this is we didn't bring DK in to be a 7-yard dump off guy.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's predictable too. You look at it, all his completions are running to the right. Yep. If you think a defensive coordinator isn't picking up on that, you're crazy.
And that's where I have an issue with the play calling and the coaching. This is Arthur Smith was supposed to come in and be one of the one of the crazy smart guys, 3 tight ends said, we talked about in the offseason, preseason, oh my gosh, the mismatches we can create, the things we can do. I've seen none of it. The best thing we've done is put fat guys on the end of the line of scrimmage so we can run the ball better. Like, that's the best thing we've done all year. And don't get me wrong, it's been impressive and it's been fun to watch, because when you get Spencer Anderson and then Darnell on the outside of already big defense or offensive tackles, it's been fun to watch what we can do with that. But you can only do so, like, that's not explosive play material. That's just, hey, that's quote unquote Steeler football. Okay, we're gonna run it down your throat. But our defense has been so inconsistent as well that we're allowing 30 plus points a game. And then we got to go out and pass to do anything. And we can't pass the ball. It's boring. It's basic. It's nothing impressive. It is either, hey, run a slant, I'm going to try and hit you, or hey, run down the field, I'm going to try and hit you. There's no scheming, no double moves, I'm not even seeing the levels concept where you have guys crossing over the middle of the field, like nothing at all.
And we talked about, the last couple of weeks, wanting to see more of this stuff, taking advantage of the speed of this wide receiver room. This is one of the fastest wide receiver rooms in the NFL. It's not a big room by any means, other than DK and Ben Skoranek. But most of these receivers ran 4.3 40s. DK was in the 4.3s. Calvin's a 4.3 guy. Scotty Miller's a 4.3 guy. I think Roman Wilson was like 4.41 or 4.40. So basically a 4.3 guy. Like, these are fast dudes. How are we not just copying stuff from Miami's playbook and from Kansas City's playbook on how they utilize their ultra fast guys just for easy completions?
Yep.
Because there's too many situations where it's 3rd and 4, and we see it at the end of the game here. You're trying to get those last few yards to get into range for a 65-yard field goal, and you can't even make it happen because you're throwing a 1-yard slant to DK. Yep. Like, there's other options. There's ways of scheming people open. And when you come away from a game and the best offensive play call you can talk about is a fake tush push, you got a problem. No, I'll give him credit. Like, he drew that one up beautifully. It was executed perfectly. So Arthur Smith gets 1 good point for drawing up that play call and for the execution of it going well. Outside of that, man, this offense is looking putrid right now. And yeah, they got to come up with some solutions real fast here, because the schedule's about to get worse.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Drastically worse.
The Bears are not a bad team by any means. They're 8-3 for a reason. They've won a lot of games. They're scoring a lot of points. We talked about it on the pregame show. This is a very potent offense. Lots of weapons all over the place. The tight ends are great. The wide receivers are great. Even the running backs were too deep, and very talented running backs. And a quarterback that's a young up-and-coming dude who could end up one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL before his career is over. That being said, you've got to be able to do something to slow teams down, man. And just I think some of this is construction of the roster too. I've not seen a year previous to this one where Pittsburgh has gone into every Sunday with so few cornerbacks on the roster.
Yeah.
When Joey Porter Jr. goes down early in the game, you know you're screwed. And that's a problem.
Yep.
Like James Pierre, I understand, played a very good game. For what I understand, Joey Porter Jr. was playing well too before the injuries, and then was unable to come back. But now you're marching Darius Slay back out there. Eccles has been real up and down this year. He has good games and good moments, and then some moments where he gets torched a little bit. Slay has just not been very good at all. But who's on the roster after that? There isn't anyone. When that isn't going well, you have to pull Jalen Ramsey out as safety and put him back at corner. But you already decided that he's a better safety than he is a corner. That's not a solution. There needs to be somebody else on this roster.
Yep. Well, and going back to the other thing that's frustrating is I think our players are, I'm going to say this too, because our players, especially the corners, do look bad sometimes in coverage. The problem I have, and I'm going to show you 2 examples of this in back-to-back things that ended the first half. So, and it's on screen if you're watching on YouTube.
Yeah.
This is a 3rd and 5. We did a good
Mhm.
job holding them here. And then we go into this soft coverage. No
Yep,
one's
everybody's
even
off.
at the first down mark.
Everybody's bailing.
Everyone's 5 yards past the first down mark, and they do a quick
Mhm.
dump off. And they easily get it. And then we hold them to a 3rd and 9
Mhm.
after this. And the same thing. Everyone's barely there. And then they do a dump off and they little screenplay. And nobody's home. Nobody's able to stop them. And they get drastically extra yards. It's pitiful. It's not NFL quality material. It is bad coaching. Horrible coaching. Like, this is not on the players. You can't tell a player, hey, I want you to go into a zone 5 yards behind the first down mark, but you better make a play if they pass it to the first down. What do you do? No. Crash out moment. Sorry. It's like, that is such horrible coaching. I hope Terrell Austin is gone after the year. We should have kept Flores. Phenomenal coach. Terrell Austin doesn't deserve to be a defensive head coach or defensive coach coordinator in the NFL. I think Arthur Smith is losing my ability to trust anything he can do. It is just sad that your defense and your guys make plays and then you put them in a position to look like trash.
Yeah. Yeah, we've talked about this a lot, the last few weeks, is that the soft coverage will get beat by anyone. You could march a college team out there, and if you're playing 5 to 10 yards off, they'll just pitch and catch right down the field. So is there a situation for that? Sure. If it's like 4th and 20.
Yeah.
Not on 3rd and 5. Not on 3rd and 5, because you also don't give your pass rushers a chance at that point. There are some very talented pass rushers on this team, and they're not getting a chance to get after the quarterback because of the off coverage of the corners. And again, like Cody mentioned, this is not the corner saying, hey, I'm just going to take it easy today and I'm going to line up 5-10 yards off. It's being told by the coaching staff that this is how we want you to play this.
Yep.
Then you end up in a situation where, TJ's not getting the sacks that he should be getting, and Herbig's not getting the sacks he should be getting.
I know you didn't watch the game, James. There was a play, at least one play, where both of them were on the field and neither of them were pass rushing.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Oh, and then you got, props to the Browns, because although I can't stand Myles Garrett and that defense, and mostly him, they're putting Myles Garrett in great positions to get sacks, to get close to the sack record now.
He's not even getting blocked half the time, man. It's very frustrating when you watch his plays because they're just leaving him completely unblocked. I haven't seen any of his sacks in the last 3 weeks that he got double teamed. He's not facing double teams. He's going completely unblocked. He's getting pursuit sacks. They're hand feeding this to him right now. It's kind of, honestly, the NFL should be very embarrassed by how they're playing against Myles Garrett, because no one's double teaming him right now. It's like they want him to break the record.
I mean, that wouldn't surprise me with how much we've seen people dislike the Steelers. That's definitely a potential. But going back to this real quick, you have Herbig rushing on this play, but look where TJ's at. TJ's off in coverage, and he's not, don't get me wrong, TJ's an athlete, but he's not making that play.
It looks like he almost did.
I know. Don't get me wrong. I know, but it's just why I wish we were rushing there. He's not even on the line. I mean, he's back over here. You got 4 down linemen, and he's kind of playing the flats a little bit. But I don't know. I really wish this team would utilize the players they have, utilize the skill guys. Our defense is it's the highest paid defense in the league. They're too talented to be letting up 30 points a game. And I firmly believe it is drastically on the coaching more than I thought, especially after watching this game. And then the number of times Malik Harrison was in there and is just an absolute freaking, he can't guard anything in the pass game, not a single thing.
Yeah.
You gotta figure out another option, because he's not the answer. I understand injuries and things are happening.
I think there's just too much of an addiction in the Pittsburgh coaching staff to wanting to have a rotation in the inside linebacker room. Ever since Ryan Shazier's injury, it feels like they've been trying to find guys that this guy specializes in that situation and that guy specializes in this situation, and we'll just put them out there when we think that's going to happen. Well, the problem is that the other teams obviously understand this, so they're attacking the weakness of these players. So you just can't put a guy like Malik Harrison out there unless it's a goal line situation or a short yardage, like a 3rd and 1, a 4th and 1, that kind of thing, and then tell him to go thump somebody right up the middle, okay. But make sure the other middle linebacker has the responsibility of somebody leaking out into the flat, because when it happens, he isn't going to be able to cover it.
Yep. I mean, here's another prime example. Nick Herbig towards the top of the screen. In man-to-man coverage on a receiver, how do you think this is going to go? Like, what do you expect to happen there? That is just bad play calling, bad coaching. There's nothing you can do or say to make that okay. It's not next man up. No, he's an edge rusher. Put him on if that was an athletic tight end, I get it. You kind of got to do that every now and then. But that was a receiver. Why? Why are we doing this? Why is not a safety coming up and covering that guy or a nickel corner? It's horrible play calling. It's horrible. I mean, it's making our guys, and I wish the defense would be more mad about this. And I'm not saying I wish they'd call. And I'm not saying I wish they'd call coaches out in stuff, but it's like, I wish they'd say something that like something needs to change. I don't know.
I feel like they're getting there, because you're starting to see in these post-game interviews, these guys getting real sick of talking about the same issues. Yep. Patrick Queen definitely showing some frustration after this game. TJ Watt definitely expressing frustration after this game. It's not acceptable to these guys. I agree with you. There's too much talent on this defense for them to be getting abused week after week like this. And then the next week they end up putting up a good game. Like, that seems to be what's going on right now. It's almost like every other week you get a completely different defense out of these guys. And we'll see. It's going to be a huge matchup going up against the Bills. They're a very banged up team also, but so was the Bears going into this,
Yeah.
So
the fact that we didn't target the middle of the field when they had 3 middle linebackers out is
mind-boggling.
It's asinine. Yeah. It is insane.
You have the biggest mismatch in the entire NFL with Darnell Washington, with anyone trying to cover him, and you didn't go over the middle to him once.
Nope.
Yeah, nuts.
Not a single time. Why would you?
And Pat Freiermuth is very skilled over the middle of the field. And I guess that 14-yard touchdown catch was kind of middle-ish, not between the hashes, but not on an edge.
Yeah, and this was anyone who tells me, they don't, like Mason can't throw the ball. James, this is that touchdown pass. You tell me that he can't throw the ball into tight coverage or wherever he needs to.
Yeah.
Like, that was a beautiful play, beautiful pass in between two guys.
Oh, just outside of the hashes.
Yeah, just outside. But don't sit here and tell me.
That's the middle of the field throw. Yeah, that's a great throw. That's a good scheme. They flooded the area and people had to make decisions, and Pat was open.
And this is the angle that I was happy they showed, because you see him pump fake. You see him pump fake right there. And he's like, I got to wait till he clears that middle linebacker. And it was just a perfect play. So I don't want to hear, I saw a TikTok before this and I commented on it. I said, your take is absolutely insane. The guy's like, Mason's not the answer. Mason can't throw the ball. He's too scared. No, we're not putting anybody in a position to be the ball thrown to them. It's not happening. And I don't know. My frustration with this team continues to rise and boil to the point where I don't even want to watch the games anymore. I'm going to. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna not watch the game, but I'm not having any fun watching these games because and I messaged our group chat and I said, I'm not trying to be negative Nancy about stuff already, but I'm getting frustrated or whatever I said. And it's frustrating that I feel like the past 10 years we've been watching, how slow can we come out of the locker room? How long will it take us to do something because we need to? Or how many points do we have to be down in order for us to actually make a good play call or throw the ball downfield or utilize a tight end or whatever? And then we get a couple games where it's like, that's all they do. And then it's like, oh no, we can't do that again. Teams will get used to it. If it's working, don't stop doing it. Don't stop. Oh, okay. Should we go back to our regularly scheduled breakdown of this game? Like, how should we
I
do
don't know
this?
that we really need to talk about Mason anymore. We talked about him enough. Not a good enough performance out of Mason. Not spraying the ball throughout the field. You know, the average of 5.5 yards per completion is just pitiful. So
I'm not going to pin it all on him, though. I'm not.
It's not all on him. It isn't. But you know, when he does decide to go deep, you got to hit those throws. Yeah, we can't consistently have whatever quarterback it is out there can't hit the broadside of a barn on a deep ball. We should be completing at least 40 to 50% of those, like every other team. Instead, we're down on the 20s. So it has to get better, and it does start with the quarterback. Rushing game a lot better this week, but you know, a lot of it is a little bit skewed from the fake tush push, and you get some negative results too from the tush push on the 4th and 1 that very clearly went past the first down marker, and the referees decided, nope, it's not a first down, and you don't get to challenge it, and just complete hogwash on that because Pittsburgh was driving. They're driving. They converted on a 4th and 1. There is no saying that they didn't. It was not even close. They can try to say that they blew the whistles, but you can hear when the whistles were blown, and they weren't blown until he was well past the first down marker. I mean, he got like a yard and a half past the first down on that play.
Yep.
So to call him short is just absolutely insane and criminal, really. So you have some of that in this game too, and that's part of why I caution people not to just like throw in the towel on the season. Is that there was a lot of stuff in this game where just little stuff here and there, and that being one of them. You know, it's a 4th and 1. You clearly convert. The referees decide you're not worthy of a first down, and we're not going to give it to you, even though you earned it. And you don't get any say in that. And it's not poor execution on the team, and it's not a bad play call in that particular instance. Both worked well. Just the refs decided we don't get a first down.
Yeah, I think the problem with that I have personally with the, you know, hey, don't throw the white flag in yet. My white flag is in hand and mid toss right now.
Cody, you threw it week 2.
I didn't throw it week 2. But it's because it's the same issues. It's because this team can't make any adjustments whatsoever to fix the problems they're having. And it's blowing my mind, and it's frustrating me, and it's sad that you have a team like we don't have any identity. I can think of a team, any team in the NFL, even the bad ones, and they have an identity. Like they have something they want to do or that they try to do, or that even the bad teams do well. And with us, this is the most intense roller coaster I've ever been on in my life. Okay. This is better than anything you've seen at Six Flags. This is more exhilarating than anything at any Wonder World amusement park in the world because the highs are so high and the lows are so low. And it's just incredibly frustrating that one week we can pound the ball nonstop. They don't stop us at all. And the next week we can't run for what, 30, 40 yards.
Yeah. And it all, like, in the end in this game, the Steelers rushed for 186 yards on the day. So this is probably their top rushing performance of the entire season. Even if you take away the tush push, it's still a really good day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because then you still have 131 yards rushing on the day.
Yep.
So it does skew it a little bit. But you know what? Every team has some breakaway runs once in a while, so I don't really care how it came.
Yeah. I mean, the good teams have them more often than not because the blocking's there, the running back's good, whatever it is.
That's it. And that's part of the problem in this game too, is that we gave up like 10 plays to the Bears of 10 plus yards and only get like 2 ourselves.
Yep.
That's a problem.
Yeah,
that's a problem. You got to be able to stretch the field more than that. But you know, at least the running game is starting to trend in the right direction. They just got to be able to convert more in the short yardage situations. And again, that comes back to our frustration we've been talking about is getting the right guys in the right position. Because Kenny Gainwell has had some real nice weeks the last couple of weeks, but he's not a short yardage back. He's the smallest running back on the team.
Yep.
So you can't hand it to him on a 4th and 1 or a 3rd and 1 and expect him to power through someone because it's just not his game. He's the open field elusive guy. He's not even like the top end speed guy, or he would have made it in the end zone on the tush push.
Yeah. literally. But like it is frustrating. Like so I mean, obviously he had that 55-yard run. If you take that away, he's still 9 carries for what 47 yards, I think it is.
Yeah, still a great game.
It's still a great game from him. Jalen Warren, 18 for 68, only averaged 3.8. That's still higher than league average. I think league average is typically 3.5. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong on that, but I think that's league
Not
average.
sure. Yeah, I'm sure it's
But then you have, I mean, because of how bad those passes were and these certain things, you have DK Metcalf registering 2 carries for 12 yards. One was an actual handoff on an end around, which DK's not the guy you do that with. He's not. Jonnu Smith registered 2 carries for 7 yards. And then Connor Hayward had the 1 for 0 yards, which again, we just talked about where that was the tush push that definitely went at least 2.5 yards. So that's frustrating. And then you look at the receiving room. So let's talk about this. Calvin Austin had himself a semi-decent game, 4 receptions for 36 yards. I wish he got more target. He was being a little shifty and shaky after the catch. Kenneth Gainwell, 6 for 30. You talked about that earlier with the dump offs. Darnell got a catch late and got 13 yards on it, but 2 catches for 22. DK 5 for 22. That's the fact that DK has as many yards as Darnell on 3 more receptions and it's only 22 yards is pitiful. Ben Skoranek 1 for 21. Skoranek almost had as many receiving yards as DK off 1 catch. That's crazy to me. Jonnu Smith 3 catches for 21 yards, and then Pat 3 for 19. We're just not pushing the ball downfield. If you're too afraid to let Mason throw the ball, if that's why it's not happening, put someone else in there. If I mean, figure it out. Do something else. I don't want to see Will Howard. I know everyone wants to see Will Howard. I'm so afraid of seeing Will Howard go out in this offense and losing all aspect of confidence because of how poorly we're play calling. So I saw a lot of takes, people saying, might as well put Will Howard in. If you're not going to let him throw the ball the same way you're not letting Mason, don't do it. It's a waste. That's my personal opinion. I don't know if you agree or disagree on that, but it's
I'm very curious as to how good his deep ball is. That's for sure.
That's fair. I don't blame you one bit on that.
And ironically enough, Mason's deep ball has been one of his better things throughout his career. It just wasn't good in this game. And I'll be honest with you, the last 3-4 weeks have made me really reevaluate certain positions on the team. Yeah. And it makes me think that Pittsburgh probably needs to go into this upcoming draft and get a better wide receiver number 2, a guy that's a better route runner and a guy with a little more size, because these little dudes just aren't getting it done, man. You know, they're supposed to be quick, elusive, fast guys that get separation and get yards after catch, and they're not doing any of it. And maybe Roman Wilson can still develop into it, but I'm kind of giving up on Calvin Austin at this point and him turning into what we had hoped he could be. It's year 4. He's been starting for a couple years now.
But see, that's where, again, going back, my frustration is I don't know if we're giving these guys good opportunities to do anything.
Well, we've seen a lot of drop balls from Calvin this season, and
agreed.
A couple of them turned into turnovers.
Agreed.
And you can't
we're not utilizing DK properly. How can we be upset about how they're utilizing Calvin or how they're utilizing Roman or they're not utilizing the tight ends? I mean, they do for half a game and then they're non-existent again for 3 weeks.
But part of the reason that you're not getting any production out of DK is that he gets double teamed all day long because the other guys can't do anything. Roman's not getting double teamed, and neither is Calvin. They're getting one-on-one coverage every single play.
Then don't put them on the field. Darnell, Pat, and Jonnu, all 3 can line up at wide receiver. All 3 of them. Darnell, maybe not. Darnell, maybe
definitely
not.
Definitely not.
I thought about it. I changed my mind. But Jonnu and Pat absolutely can. I mean,
and that's part of the problem is that Jonnu was supposed to be able to be used as a wide receiver this year, and he's just not been an option.
But let me clarify. I don't think he's been an option. Well, are you saying that they haven't used him as an option, or are you saying that he hasn't performed enough?
I'm saying that the completion percentage when throwing to Jonnu Smith has been very low, and some of it has been on him and some of it has been bad throws. But he's dropping passes. He's not getting yards after catch. He's not been elusive like we thought he was, and he's certainly not getting separation when he's running his routes.
I'm just curious. He has 41 targets on the year, 29 catches.
Which completion percentage, that's fine. But his yardage on the year is awful.
But that's not. I don't think that's his fault.
Pat's getting yards after the catch. Why isn't Jonnu? He's the more athletic dude.
Because I think because of when they're throwing him the ball and where they're throwing him the ball on the field, it's pitiful. It's absolutely pitiful.
I mean, I get this, but last week we had one pass to Pat Freiermuth, right? It was only 3 or 4 yards down the field. He makes a guy miss and he goes and gets another 10 yards. Jonnu isn't doing that. He's not making anyone miss. He's not breaking tackles and he's not making guys miss. I don't think that Pat is getting drastically better opportunities than Jonnu is, but he's doing a lot more with it.
Listen, that's fair. That is fair. Pat does get a lot of opportunities. We're going to take a quick second here. Another Pat of ours is Pat from Edinburgh Hotel Bar, and we want to give them a quick shout out.
Talk about the opportunity they have there to promote a podcast like this. Supporters of Steelers by the Lake podcast include the Edinburgh Hotel Bar, serving a variety of lunch and dinner items every single day from their location at 100 Meadville Street in downtown Edinburgh. Information is available at 814-734-5103 or online at edinburghhotelbar.com. The Edinburgh Hotel Bar, where you had me at hotel.
They do have me at a hotel. I did not go there for the game this weekend. I was very sad about that, but I'm kind of happy about it because it would have been a mess. And I would have just been more depressed than I already was watching this freaking game. Offensive line, Broderick obviously had an injury. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But I thought the offense.
Alvin Anderson looked when he came in, because that's something I'm curious of. I thought that he had a lot of potential from last season.
The biggest thing I can say is I didn't notice him.
That's great.
Like that's the, you know what I'm saying?
That's a huge compliment.
Yeah, Darnell had a bad game, and he's not even offensive line, but from a blocking standpoint, Darnell had a bad game.
And that goes back to frustration with the coaching staff, because why in the world is Darnell pass blocking one-on-one versus their best pass rusher? That shouldn't be happening. I get him chipping and helping offensive line and pass pro, or even being one-on-one with like a blitzing middle linebacker or a blitzing safety or nickel corner or something. Yep. But putting him one-on-one with Montez Sweat, their best pass rusher, it's a bad plan. You're putting him in a bad situation.
Coaching staff needs fixed. And by fixed, I mean fired, and I'm not going to say who. There's at least 2 guys. Maybe 3.
There might be more than 2, buddy.
But let's talk defense real quick, because offensive line, I don't think there was much to talk about. I honestly think they had an average game for what we'd expect from them.
They were obviously opening holes in the running game, or we wouldn't have 170 yards rushing. So, or almost 190, I should say.
Yeah. Defensive side of the ball, I thought Jalen Ramsey actually had a decent game.
Mm-hmm.
I thought both safeties had a good game outside of Kyle Duggar getting beat on the 1 touchdown pass. He just lost his footing. It was really unfortunate. Duggar's a big hitter. Ramsey had a great hit on Caleb Williams that people wanted to flag on. Legal hit. Like, after I saw what Patrick Mahomes did when the one defensive player, lightened up because he was running out of bounds, and Patrick Mahomes wanted to lower his shoulder. Defensive guys hit. If the quarterback's running out of bounds and he's not out of bounds yet, you hit him. Period. Point blank. Nothing else is going to happen. But that secondary, I thought had a rough game covering, but that, again, not all their fault. Some of it was the play calling. You're putting the guys in bad positions to do anything. Joey Porter had an injury in the game. He had 3 tackles, no pass breakups or anything from him registered. Brandon Echols, nothing registered. James Pierre did have another pass breakup, which was fantastic for him. Sebastian Castro did register a tackle in this game, so that's big.
Well, he didn't play on defense, I assume.
No.
Probably just special teams.
Correct.
Did you catch where he lined up? Maybe he was the personal protector in this game?
I did not catch, but I probably could figure that out.
I'm anxious to see that next week. I'm glad to see that he got on the field.
Yeah. Darius Slay, 1 tackle. Just overall a quiet game from the secondary. Would have liked to have seen more. Kyle Duggar did drop an easy interception. That was a big frustration, but other than that,
and that's 2 weeks in a row. He did get a pick 6 last week, but he also dropped one last week. So we got to see him make up for that next week and get back on the board with another pick. He's getting the opportunities. He's getting in there and getting his hands on the ball. So if he can keep on getting these interceptions, that's the difference between winning and losing these games. I mean, we're talking about it. The way we're talking about this game, you would have thought Pittsburgh lost by 3 scores. They lost by 3
It felt
points.
that way.
Yeah.
It felt that way.
They lost by 3 points. So that's the difference of catching that interception or letting it hit the ground sometimes.
Linebackers we kind of talked about. I thought Malik Harrison was an absolute liability. He did register 3 tackles on the day. Peyton Wilson registered 5. Other middle
also looks like
who?
PQ.
Yeah, PQ registered 5 tackles. Holcomb registered 1. Just a quiet game from that interior linebacker crew. When you jump out to exterior, obviously TJ Watt had the sack fumble that led to the defensive touchdown that was picked up by Nick Herbig. Nick Herbig had 2 tackles and a tackle for loss on the game. Unfortunately, Jack Sawyer did get hit with an offside call. It wouldn't have mattered. They threw a touchdown on the play anyways.
Yeah, but I understand that the guys in the secondary kind of let up like they thought that the play was going to be flagged dead.
I didn't see that personally, but maybe I'm wrong.
That's what they communicated in the interviews, is that they thought that because of the offsides, something got goofed up and they weren't going to. The execution of the defense got goofed up because of it. We'll put it that way.
Yeah. So it is what it is.
Y.A. Black got a fumble recovery in this game, and I don't know what happened. All I know is that there was a pile up, and he came out of the pile with the ball.
Why? So in my opinion, and I'll see if I can find this for you because you do want to watch it. In my opinion, Y.A. Black completely robbed that man of that football.
So
there's no other way that happened.
Ground with the ball, and he just came out of the pile with it.
Kind of. That's probably the best way to say it. Yes.
Are we talking about a run play, a pass play?
Run play up the middle, and I believe he just completely took that ball from that running back because when they reviewed it, I mean, it wasn't even close. It wasn't even close. So Y.A. Black did have himself a good game. If you want to talk other defensive linemen while I'm looking for this.
Yeah, it sounded as though, from what I understood, that the defensive line had a decent game against the run. Just in general, the Bears didn't quite get to 100 yards rushing on the day. They really shut down Swift. Swift did not have a good game at all. Kyle Monangai did have a good game, but he only averaged like 4 yards a carry.
Yeah.
So for the most part, you did a good job against him. So.
And this is that play that we're looking at, a 3rd and 2, run right up the middle. And I don't know.
Oh, yeah,
again,
you can't see anything from that.
No, you can't see a single thing. You see James Pierre look down and be like, oh, we got the ball. Yeah. And they should show a replay here. And if they don't, I'll try to find another one. But
yeah, because I think they called it on the field. There's Y.A. coming away from the pile. God bless this dude.
Right here, look. So
good.
So Swift is right there.
Yeah.
Unless Duggar got his hand. No, Duggar didn't get his hand on it. He's falling. He's falling. He's doing whatever. And then all of a sudden, the ball is on the right-hand side. Like, I don't know how, where, when. Y.A.'s right here in the bottom of the pile. Yeah. And right there, he's got the ball. He's just holding it.
Yeah, he just ripped it out of his hands before he got to the ground.
So
that's
I think
man strength right there.
He just bear pawed it and took it.
Yeah,
so.
You gotta love it. And that's why you get guys like that, right? They didn't get him because he ran a 4.8 40 as a 335-pound man. He didn't. He ran like a 5.3 40. He didn't have his crazy bench press numbers or jumping. He was tough to move, big, strong, good length. Somebody you want to put on the interior that can help you against the run. And boom, there it is, in a 3rd and 2 situation to just steal the ball from the running back. I love it. I absolutely love it, So now we just got to get the secondary to play some tighter defense so that these defensive linemen can get a chance to get some sacks, man.
Yep. So we'll see what happens. I'm hoping these D-line can come up and do some extra stuff moving forward. I have enjoyed watching these big guys, Derek Harmon, Keanu Benton, seeing some improvement, and now Y.A. Black getting involved. It's been really, really fun.
And at least one thing that you can kind of take from this game. Well, the last 4 offensive possessions for the Bears, 3 of them were 3 and outs. So the Steelers defense did stiffen up when they needed to at the most to give Pittsburgh a chance to still try and win this game. Just the offense couldn't get it done on the other side.
Yeah. Special teams, Keyshawn Williams, 2 kick returns for 45 yards. Kenneth Gainwell had 2 kick returns for 18. One was not his fault. It was a knuckleball. I did look for that replay. I couldn't find it to show you, James. That was a struggle bus. Punt return, Calvin Austin, 2 for 24. And then kicking, Boswell was 4 for 4 in extra points. Corliss Waitman, 3 punts for 106 yards, none of them inside the 20. That's the big frustration there.
Yeah, I understand this was his worst game of the season.
Drastically.
Pretty wide margin. So that's a tough one there, and in close games like this, you got to have a good performance from your punter when you're punting the ball. So to only average 35 yards per punt on the day, you were getting that out of Presley Harvin. So you got to do better than that. And I'm not going to beat him up too much because honestly, I think Corliss has had a really good year this year. But hopefully this is just a one-off and he goes back to what he's been doing previous. If this gets in his head, oh man, this could end up real rough the rest of the year. And you're getting into that bad weather time of year, man. So you better be on point with your placement with kicking the ball and getting a good long kick on it too.
Yep. Injuries that happened during this game. JPJ went in and out a couple times during this game. DK had an ankle injury that he fought through and then got rolled up on by Jonnu Smith and then fought through it again. Broderick Jones came out. I don't recall Broderick Jones coming back in or not. And
he did not, from what I understand.
And then also James Pierre listed with an injury as well in this game. So we'll have more updates on that tomorrow. We'll try to share some things on social media when Mike Tomlin has his interview. And then it's time for game balls. So Nick gave us his. Jill didn't for today, so that's okay. But Nick's game ball goes to Darnell Washington, which is interesting. I wish he would have given us some reason as to why. Darnell did let up 2 sacks, but he did have a couple big blocks. You didn't see those, James, because you weren't able to watch the game. He had a couple big blocks in run game, pancaked a couple guys, and then he did have one. I think we said 1 catch. It has 2 catches for 22 yards.
That's what he said in his comments there, is that the way he ran people over in the blocking game, and as a runner, it gets him hyped every time. And the fact that he wasn't targeted over the middle of the field is absolutely criminal, and we could not agree more with
Okay. I didn't see him. Do you want to give your game ball, or would you like me to give mine?
Yeah, man, I'm going to give it to Y.A. Black for being an absolute thug in the middle. You need that. You need somebody to take the reins of this defense and just start being tougher than everybody else. And that's why I got the Debo hoodie on today, right? Because Debo was the guy you didn't mess with on the field, and we need somebody to start taking over the game like that. And maybe it's Jalen Ramsey. I understand he's been giving some nice big shots to people week after week, so maybe Jalen becomes the thug that you need to. But somebody needs to go into these games and just rip the ball out of the other guy's hands, and YA did that in this game and ended a drive in doing so. So I'm giving the game ball, even though it was a very minimal total impact, to YA Black.
Yeah. I have an honorable mention. I'm going to give an honorable mention, since Jill's not here, to TJ Watt for that sack fumble. I think that was huge. That obviously got us a defensive touchdown. But I am giving mine to Jalen Ramsey for the same thing you're discussing. Jalen Ramsey, after getting ejected from last week's game over some bull crap and he was getting feisty, he let that mentality push over into this game. And with that hit on Caleb Williams, he's continuing to set a tone for this team in a way that I was worried about, but he's doing it the right way.
He is.
We were all very worried about his attitude, his composure, all these things. And I'm seeing him be a very honestly well-composed player and handling his business on the field and playing hard, playing tough. I'm hoping that he can get his hand on the ball a couple times, get some picks or some knockdowns. But my game ball definitely goes to Jalen Ramsey in this game. So
Absolutely. We might be getting our next show out to you guys a little early. It looks like we're leaning towards recording Friday night instead of Saturday morning. So you might be able to get your hands on this next one like 12 hours earlier than normal.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll keep you guys updated if that's the case. You'll obviously see it posted Friday evening. The reason for that is obviously holiday weekend and it's hunting season, and two of us on this show hunt. And I'm actually even wearing my Steelers camo thing, not because of hunting season, but because I didn't see a team play on Sunday. So that would be the reason. Sorry, that was a good one, James. We can't thank you guys enough for being here. If you're watching on YouTube or listening, please make sure to go like and follow on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Subscribe, ring the bell. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. Don't forget the 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts. You can also give us a rating on Spotify. And until next time, this is your host, the OG host, James and Cody, signing off.
Peace.